This is it, everybody. This is the One-Up All-Star Race, the main event, the big show. It's finally here, and this is where all of the top-level drivers in the One-Up Superstar Series can show their stuff and fight it out for a chance to win the big prize at the very end of the day. And alongside me in the booth, just as it was for the Open, is Ryan Caggiano. And for this race, it's no holds barred. Everything out, all concern for conservation is out the window. You got to go fast, you got to go hard, and you got to go big if you want to have a chance to win this race.
Yeah, it's all about the bragging rights here. The points don't really matter. The playing position where you are doesn't matter. It's all about how good you are and how fast you want to go to win that big prize at the end of the day. And that's what it's all about here.
And that being said, we can give you the full starting lineup set by random draw earlier this week. That put Miles Mashburn on pole position for the All-Star race, and it put the one rookie in the race, Kyle Vaughters, in second position. And as you look through the rest of the field, see where your favorite driver starts. And we got a couple interesting stories to speak of. Your teammate in the Nitro National Series, Nikki Martinez, making a one-off return to the Superstar Series. She starts in the 18th position, and don't forget the transfer drivers. Joshua Michaels starting 24th, Andres Molina 25th, and the fan vote winner, Zachary Fitzwater 26th. How far do you think they'll be able to make it up for the field? Because passing is quite difficult on this track.
Yeah, we saw that in the All-Star opener. Very hard. We only saw one or two incidents near the back end, and we saw Duke Anzac able to pass quite easily. But it depends on how good these drivers are. You got Lane Sanders, Stephen Gale, Bobo Jones, Nick Ortiz. This is just to name a few, just sitting behind the top three. And that's not even including people like Blair, Carter, Martinez, Bolton. These are all great drivers. I'm expecting some good racing here.
And with that being said, the cars are lined up on the grid, and we are, as always, ready to bring you the action from Nazareth Speedway. This is the One-Up Superstar All-Star Race, and the green flag is next. With Miles Mashburn and Kyle Vaughters leading the field off of four, the green flag is in the air, and the inaugural One-Up All-Star Race is underway. The field tightly bunched together as they go for the first corner, but Miles Mashburn looks to have the advantage as far as the inside line is concerned. But hey, take a look. Jeffrey Finguy's making a three wide move inside four to lead. They're three wide exiting turn two.
Like I said, this is the All-Star race. This is where you show your stuff here. And like I said, there'll be more passes. I mean, look at Finguy already. He's already showing off what he wants to do here.
So he takes the lead of this race, and coming off of the final corner, he will assume the lead of this race as the field cycles through, and it appears, unless I'm mistaken, yep, I'm not mistaken, we have a caution on the racetrack already, the first of the All-Star Weekend, and several cars are involved in this one, including the Open winner, Joshua Michaels, Braden Saul's involved, J.D. Martin, Kevin Carter, a lot of cars are involved, Jared Polanski's in this as well. Man, a lot of cars are involved in an early wreck here in the All-Star race, and their hopes at the big prize have just taken a serious hit.
Yeah, they've taken a huge dive right now. It's the complete opposite so far of the opening race so far. We have a couple good passes, and we've even got an incident. So it's the complete opposite, and hopefully we can see not much of the accidents, but more of the passing.
That is true, and we will, of course, get you a replay of what happened as soon as one is made available to us. But it looks like all these cars should be able to continue after a bit of minor repair on pit road. So looking through the field, you can see Jeffrey Finguy has taken the lead from Joshua Michaels, and Braden Saul pulls into his pit to assess damage sustained during this accident, and we can get you a replay of what happens to Braden Saul and the rest of the field. So looking from high above, it looks like Hutchinson's in a three-wide position with Saul and Carter, and I believe what's going to happen is the 78 might get hooked here by, yes, the 70 of Kevin Carter, and they just noses it into the wall. And I'm not sure where the rest of these guys sustained their damage. It might have been coming to the caution flag. They just had to check up, and yep, there we go. All three of them up and into the outside wall, just checking up for the caution flag. Some did it better than others. And as a result, 5 cars are in the wall here at the opening laps of the All-Star race.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. There's some good avoiders like Molina and Fitzwater able to avoid that little stack up at the caution. But free ride doing that opening mover, fantastic. Free ride going into a corner, a terrible idea.
Yes, and we will get you. That was a very bad. That was a bad wreck for everybody involved, but just goes to show the amount of the level of energy these guys put into this race, and the amount of risk they're willing to take to try and win this thing. So as it runs right now, all 26 cars are able to continue in the race with some minor repair work going on. So Jeffrey Finguy continues to lead the race, with Miles Mashburn second, Lane Sanders third, Kyle Vaughters dropped all the way back to fourth, ahead of Stephen Gale. And it looks like the lights are going to go out on the pace car this time by, so we should see the green flag next time around. And yes, the lights are out on the pace car. We will be going green next time by, hopefully, for the rest of the way, because this has been some great racing already in the one lap we did manage to get in under green.
I mean, this one lap so far has been a little bit more heated so far in the opener, but this is what this race is all about. It's for bragging rights, the big prize at the end. This is what you play for. There's no points in the line. Position doesn't matter. It's just about your skill, and right now Finguy's showing us that.
That is true, and the pace car looks to make the hard left turn onto pit road very shortly here, and that'll leave us in the hands of Jeffrey Finguy. Yes, you can see the pace car pulling off right there, and Finguy's going to lead us around through 3 and 4, and we're going to take a restart on lap number 6 of 57 here at Nazareth Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful track so far. Very tight, but it still gives you a couple good racing lines still. So it's still an interesting track.
Green flag back in the air, and Finguy gets a good jump on Mashburn and the rest. So far, Finguy's just got command of this race right now. He's showing his speed. He's won on short tracks. He's won on mile and a half. He's won on pretty much everything you can feasibly think of as it could be a racetrack. So Finguy is just showing his mettle right now. As you see him move to the inside, Kyle Vaughters on Lane Sanders. This is for third position here, and Vaughters has help from Stephen Gale in the 35. That's gonna maybe allow Vaughters past, but no, Sanders holds him off for the time being. This is some great racing for a third spot, but of course it doesn't matter if you finish third in the All-Stars. No one remembers who finishes third. Everyone remembers the winner and the spoils that go with it.
Yeah, exactly. But like you said before the race began, we got to talk about the stories. The only rookie, Vorgas, should be proud that he made it here. And, you know, him winning it, I think it's his first time ever in the Nitro Series.
And we've got trouble on the racetrack once again. We've got trouble on the racetrack once again. Jordan Presto with some heavy damage on pit road. His day will likely come to an end here, as the Whataburger Trevor Project Ford Mustang is heavily battered on pit road. His race is likely done, with Henry Thomas also involved in this one, as the caution flag is out on lap number 8. I don't want to say it, but these short track races, they always seem to breed a lot of cautions. We just gotta hope that everybody starts thinking with a level head and can keep on racing, because we like to see green flag action no matter what track we go to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we always love seeing green flag action. There are some tracks we don't talk about anymore, but green flag action is what we wanted to see here.
So this is Jordan Presto going into the corner. I think it's going to be the exact same situation. Yes, Henry Thomas hooks him, gets him into the wall, and oh my, he just gets up onto his roof and flips a couple times. It's a fairly slow rollover though. It shouldn't hurt him that much. He should be perfectly fine to race again at Hillside next week when the points racing returns. But that's just an unfortunate circumstance for Jordan Presto to be involved in.
But yeah.
There he goes into the outside wall, and he just gets tipped over by Henry Thomas, and in turn just rolls over a couple times. You can see the smoke pouring out of that Ford. His race is certainly done on lap number 8, but this is going to be a wild ride on board now with Jordan Presto. You can see him just get nosed into the wall by Henry Thomas, and he just rolls over. The camera can't handle it. And from there, he just comes to a screeching halt in the middle of the corner. And with that, his race is done on the 8th lap of 57, and as the rest of the field goes by, we should have 25 cars still in contention for this race victory fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to Presto, but in these tight corners, especially as you go into turn 3, it's very easy to get hooked and then get slammed into the wall. And we've seen that not once, but twice so far. Hopefully there's not a third.
And the lights should be going out on the pace car any moment now to bring us back to green flag competition. And yes, the lights are out on the pace car. We will be going green next time by, with Jeffrey Finguy still in command of the race. Miles Mashburn running second, Lane Sanders, Kyle Vaughters, and Stephen Gale rounding out the top 5, with Christian Vargas, Bobo Jones, Jake McMillan, Blair, and Ortiz rounding out the top 10 in a very chaotic all-star race. This is going to be one, I feel, that is very attrition-based. You just got to pray to survive and hope that you're out in front at the end of this thing, because being out front is the safest spot you can possibly be in. Jeffrey Finguy's proven that here with a dominating performance so far.
Yeah, I mean, he made a very huge risk at the beginning of the race, going free ride, but after that, it's paid off for him in spades, basically.
Yes, and with that being said, however, he's got some stiff competition behind him. Mashburn's desperate for a win. Sanders wants to prove his mettle with another strong run. Vaughters wants to prove his work here. In the All-Star races, the green flag is out. We're back underway at lap number 12 of 57, and Finguy gets a good jump on the field, but Mashburn's keeping in touch with him this time around. He's proving that he can keep up with Jeffrey Finguy, albeit for even if it's just for a little while, that you can count on that 72 car being in the mix when this is all said and done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't rule out, like you said before, any of these guys until that final checkered flag rolls found. And Mashburn is showing that as well, very well. Stephen Gale as well. And also you have the rookie as well, Vaughters, who has been very amazing so far this season.
Rounding the second corner on lap number 13, Jeffrey Finguy is cementing his position out front in a big way. As right now, the field's starting to string itself out a little bit. We see some side-by-side action a little further back in the pack. But we've had some solid green flag racing up to this point. We're on lap number 14. We've had 2 consecutive green flag laps. And let's hope that it stays that way, because Jeffrey Finguy certainly wants this race to go just his way. And I imagine he'll be very satisfied with an all-star race win under his belt.
I mean, the only other race you'd want to win is the winning playoff race to, claim the championship. But winning the all-star race is another great thing you want under your belt.
That is true, and as the field rolls through the corner to start lap 15, Jeffrey Finguy continues to hold the lead. Miles Mashburn still keeping him on his toes, though, in second, about half a second behind, with Lane Sanders just a little further back in that battle for third with Kyle Vaughters. This battle is going to be very intense for the rest of the field, because if Finguy starts to falter, this could be a very interesting battle for the lead here as this race progresses.
Yeah, exactly, because you got Mashburn behind. Gale's hunting as well. And you have so many other stories still. Bobo Jones and Vaughters as well, still behind them. So it's going to be interesting racing still.
Coming up to complete lap number 16, Jeffrey Finguy holds a dominating lead over Miles Mashburn, but that can all change in an instant. We've seen these races go some very chaotic ways before. Think back to Las Vegas, where Stephen Hunter had his harrowing crash. That's why he's not in this race here tonight. But with Lane Sanders now battling Stephen Gale for 4th, Sanders has said he wants another top 10 run to cement his status as one of the greats, and even if it's in the All-Star race, I can imagine, even if it's not for points, I can imagine a top 10 would bode very well for him after his heartbreaking DNF last week at Denver.
Yeah, I was talking to him before, after that race, and he was very distraught. He felt like he should have won that, and he felt like he had a good chance at it, but it wasn't his day.
He was on pace for a top 10 that day, but sadly for him, it just did not work out that way. As Bobo Jones, you can see in this battle for 6th position with Christian Vargas as they round the final corner once again. Jones will be able to hold him off. Jones is just one of I believe, 3 Dodges in this race, along with his teammate Daniel Bouchard and the fan vote winner Zachary Fitzwater. So, Dodge is represented here in this All-Star race, but not by much. But right now, it's Ford leading Chevrolet, leading Toyota here as we are set to start lap number 20 here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's all about the Ford Finn guy. He made that huge risk, like we said before, going free wide on the first turn, and it's paid off.
It has paid off in a big way, because now he's got quite a big lead. It's almost a seconds lead over Miles Mashburn, and that is an eternity at a short track like Nazareth. So you really want to maintain that position as best you possibly can in hopes that you can stretch it out. Of course, there are some damaged cars up ahead that he might have trouble lapping in the future, but he can't worry about that right now. He's just got to worry about maintaining his gap to Mashburn and keeping those fast cars behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, don't worry about the lap car. Don't worry about the slow damage cars. Worry about what's behind you first until you catch up to them. Then you can start a little bit worrying about the slow cars.
I believe this green flag run has just come to an end. Yes, it has. And there's Henry Thomas with more damage. His race is now over on lap 22 of 57. He was involved in that earlier incident with Jordan Presto, and I believe he got involved in this one in a similar fashion. And for the Venta Motorsports number 8, they'll have to wait another year for hopes at an all-star victory, because this is going to be the end of their race right here. Unfortunate for Henry Thomas, but it's just a part of racing and the risks you have to be willing to take in order to compete at this level. As you see Brandon Beal also with damage on pit road, his day could likely be over as well.
And not only to lose one driver is bad enough, but to lose also two in the same incident is heartbreaking.
So we will get you a replay of what happened to Brandon Beal and Henry Thomas in a short while, but this is going to bunch the field back up together once again, and this is going to be a very interesting restart once we get there, because Finn Guy has led this entire way, but Mashburn has just been steadily consistent right behind him. Will it be enough on this restart to take the position away on the restart, which we will get shortly, but after we get you a replay of what happened to Brandon Beal, Henry Thomas, and the rest. So here's Beal running ahead of Andres Molina, and I think Molina just gets into his left rear and he gets him sideways. Yes, he does, and Thomas just hooks him into the driver's door. Brandon Saul had a very lucky dodge to miss that wreck. He's another dodge in the field, coincidentally. It's bringing that number up to 4. But still, that was a hard hit for Beal and for Thomas. They should be. Now you can see from high above, Brandon Beal comes down in front of Molina, but Molina had a fender on him, and there was just nowhere to go, and then Thomas just slams into the right-hand side, and man, Brandon Saul had a very lucky escape to miss that accident. But for Henry Thomas and for Brandon Beal, their all-star races have just come to an end on lap 22. And that's a very tough break for them, but they'll just have to regroup and try again at Hillside next week.
Yeah, exactly. Especially how tight the race is here. You know, you can't be too disappointed. You made it to the All-Star race, but accidents do still occur no matter what type of race you go to.
And with that being said, the lights should be going out on the pace car this time, and we will hopefully bring you back to green flag. Yes, we will bring you back to green flag action next time around, with Jeffrey Finguy continuing to lead the way. Miles Mashburn, Kyle Vaughters, Lane Sanders, Stephen Gale, the top 5, and a pretty stagnant running order at the front of the field. But you see the 2 Venta Motorsports cars of Ben McDonnell and Jake McMillan running 9th and 10th. They started fairly deep in the field, so passing is not impossible here. It's just very tough at this racetrack, but it can be done, as you can see by the 2 Venta Motorsports cars that are still running in this all-star race.
Well, not only that, you can also say from Finguy, who was pole position 3rd, and he's now leading the race as well. You can't forget about that.
You absolutely can. That might just have been the move of the race right there on lap number 1 of 57. We're on lap 25 now. And as we come to complete lap 25, the green flag will come back in the air, and we will hopefully see it through to the rest of this race, because we don't want to see any more accidents, take out any more cars. But it's just a part of racing, and we'll see what happens from here as the green flag flies and the restart is on their way.
Yeah, it looks like Finn Guy was able to get a little bit more off of Mashburn that time, and now Mashburn's got to deal with the rookie borders on him as well now.
And Waters tries to make a move down the inside, but he's just too far back on this occasion to make that move stick. And as they come off a turn 4 to complete lap 26, we stay under green, and Finn Guy has stretched the lead out to about half a second now over Mashburn and Waters behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Mashburn is not going to be happy with himself. He had the pole position, and what Finn Guy did was amazing, but now he's just got to deal with chasing down Finn Guy and keeping Waters off a second so he can challenge Finn Guy.
And we have another caution on the speedway, and it's Joshua Michaels and Kevin Carter as well. Joshua Michaels, who won the All-Star Open to transfer his way into the main event. It took him such an effort to get here, and just like that, his race has been run and completed on lap 28. He will not see the finish of this one. It's a tough break for Joshua Michaels, especially as he had to get into this race the hard way, but that team should be credited with doing a wonderful job just getting to this point. They will be back at Hillside with a vengeance.
Oh, especially that Michaels will be. Especially since he could use that to try and make sure he gets a playoff spot after that win in the opener. But it's all about the win in the All-Star race at the end.
You can see Kevin Carter with some pretty heavy damage. It looks like he might be able to continue after some heavy repair work in the pits. But we've had several cautions come out. I believe this is number 4 of this race after a caution-free All-Star Open. So this race is taking on a very different role from its predecessor in the Open. This race has just become chaos as we try and figure out what happened to Kevin Carter, Joshua Michaels, and the rest here at Nazareth. You can see Kevin Carter already had damage from an earlier incident as he comes off of the final corner. And as Joshua Michaels passes him, I believe Carter just hooks him in the wrong spot and they just ramp up into the wall. That's just got to be a tough one for Joshua Michaels to swallow. He just got the position from Carter, and he was on pace to get a good finish, but just goes to show these cars are only so wide, and every single time we've seen cars attempt to make passes here, this always happens. I imagine this will not hit. So let's look at this one more time from a different angle. Michaels comes off the corner ahead of Carter, but then he just gets hooked in the wrong spot and just gets turned into the wall. The drivers, I imagine, will not be happy that we've had this rash of yellow flags throughout this All-Star race, and I imagine they'll be clamoring for this race to be moved to a different venue in 2022, and I honestly wouldn't blame them, because this track, as beautiful as it may be, is just very hard to pass on, and very close quarters racing can result in these kinds of accidents as we've seen throughout this race. 4 of them already.
Yeah, exactly. So many accidents so quickly, and it's caused, countless damage. It's pretty much the exact opposite, like you said before, of the All-Star Opener.
And with that being said, though, the lights are out on the pace car, and we're slowly inching our way to the end of this race. We've got about 25-ish laps to go, so hopefully we've passed half distance, so this race is official in the event of something drastic happening, but we hopefully will see this race through to its conclusion, as Jeffrey Finguy leads the way ahead of Miles Mashburn, Kyle Waters, Lane Sanders, Stephen Gale. The top 5 has pretty much stayed stagnant throughout this race, even though the action has been well behind them in the battle for other positions throughout the field, and that's resulted in 4 caution flags so far. And we're approaching the end of the 4th one now. We're coming to the restart with Jeffrey Finguy out in front. The green flag is out and down, and we're back underway here at Nazareth.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's all about Finguy here, but these cautions are just showing how good the drivers are. They're trying to get any possible edge they can, and unfortunately, accidents are going to happen, and they're just trying so hard just to try and take that top position, or try to get close to that top position.
You see a battle for fifth going on between the two Toyotas of Stephen Gale and Christian Vargas. Nick Ortiz lurking behind. Bobo Jones as well, falling a few positions here in the running order. Lost a couple to Nick Ortiz and Ben McDonald. As don't tell me we've got another caution flag. We do, and it's Richard Herman and Kevin Carter for a third time involved in this one. How many more hits can that 70 car take? I believe this will be the last one though, because his race will probably be over as a result of this one. Richard Herman, I'm not sure what happened to him. He had he had sufficient enough damage to fall out of the race because of this, but I just don't know what happened. We'll have to find a replay of what happened to Herman and Carter, but this is caution flag number 5 already on lap 33 of 57. We still got over 20 laps to go in this race.
This is bringing back some dark memories of a track we should not mention. It's the cursed track, and I don't want to call its name again.
However, in this case, I don't believe it's going to be as controversial. This is the All-Star race, remember, as we take your replay of what happened with Carter. So this is where Richard Herman was running. He was running about mid-pack, right behind J.D. Martin and right ahead of Andres Molina. So as they come through the corner, Molina just gets... he might just get hooked the wrong way once again, because Molina's got a run under him. And he just gets a hard shot into the inside guardrail, and then again, Kevin Carter just T-bones the 53, and that was a very hard impact. I'm pretty sure Richard Herman and Kevin Carter both will be glad to leave this place, because this has just not been a good day for either. So you can see we're bringing you another angle of this one. Herman, ahead of Molina, just gets shot into the inside barrier, and then he's just parked broadside into Kevin Carter's path with pretty much nowhere to go. So these two will likely be alright, but they'll obviously be very disappointed with how their race has gone, especially Kevin Carter, to be involved in 3 of the 5 caution flags in this race. That's gotta really sting. Here we ride on board with Richard Herman. Molina hooks him, just takes a hard shot to the guardrail, and Carter just T-bones him on the driver's side. That's never what you want to see. And you can see now the smoke pluming out of that 70 car. And both of their days are done now at the All-Star race. They can pack up and go home and forget about this race and prepare for when it really matters in a week's time at Hillside.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we lose more cars, but for the other cars that are still in the race, it now it's down the field that maybe, just maybe, they have more of a chance now to win the All-Star race.
Yes, and with Jeffrey Finguy out in front, he's pretty much the only driver that's been happy with this race so far, because he's been leading the whole way. He's been ahead of all the trouble so far. And right now, he continues to lead this race. Unless Miles Mashburn gets around him at some point, or Kyle Vaughters, or any of these other cars, really. This will be Jeffrey Finguy's race to lose. He's had a perfect restart every time. And he's managed to keep Mashburn ahead of him Mashburn behind him, I should say, each time. As they head into the restart zone, hopefully for the final time, we'll take the green flag and we're back underway at Nazareth.
And this time, I don't think he's able to escape Mashburn or Vabbis this time, unfortunately.
They're staying nose to tail, though, as we're coming to 20 to go this time by. So anything is still a possibility in this All-Star race, but speaking from experience, I can say these cars are very hard to pass each other in the best of circumstances. There are some tracks like Monza and some of the mile and a halves that make passing very easy. But on these short tracks, it just becomes extra difficult, especially when you don't have any banking to catch you, like we have here at Nazareth. It's a very flat racetrack, and it's just very difficult to maneuver your car around. Finguy managed to make it work wonderfully at the race start. He's been your leader ever since as a result.
Yeah, I mean, they probably talked it over before the race began about trying that tactic, and it's worked wonders for them. And so far, the picture will be cheering him on just to keep that position and hold on.
Yeah, because the pit crew won't be really much of a use in this race. We can make the entire race on one pit cycle, so no stops are necessary for this race, as should be the case for these non-points events. We want to see it in the hands of the drivers because this is where they can really shine best. As Mashburn now faces pressure from Kyle Vaughters in the battle for second. The rookie is doing a very nice job as he gets underneath the 72 for position. Can he get past? I just think Mashburn will be able to hold him off in this situation, but man, that was a good attempt at it.
Yeah, I mean, Ford is going to be trying now very hard to get the first rookie ever to win the All-Star race. And right now, if he could just take over Mashburn and maybe challenge Finn Guy, you never know.
He'd be the first driver ever to win this All-Star race because it's the inaugural running of the one-up All-Star race, but it'd be very impressive if a rookie could pull it off, and that would lock him into the All-Star races in the future for a very long time if he manages to win this one here. But right now, it's Jeffrey Finn Guy still in command of this race. We're closing in on about 15 laps to go, so it's anybody's guess who's going to win, but I have to put my money on this 92 of Jeffrey Finn Guy, because, man, he's been fast all weekend long.
Oh, he's just been amazing driving through it all, and he's just getting more and more speed behind Mashburn. He's just gone right now on Mashburn's side, and Mashburn's now going to worry about Forders as well. I don't think it's going to be much worry for Finn Guy at all. He's going to be hoping that it takes a while.
And the lead has grown to about a full second now over the rest of the field. You can see Jeffrey Finn Guy's just dominated this race. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's just dominated this race. He's led every lap so far. On the track where it's very difficult to overtake, being in up front is a position you really want to be in as this race winds down to its inevitable conclusion in about 13 laps time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in fact, it doesn't matter what lap you lead, as long as you lead that final lap. But right now, Finn Guy has such a huge commanding lead, especially on a short track like this, that it doesn't really matter.
He's got quite a commanding lead on the field here. But with that being said, anything can still happen, and we've seen the leaders run into trouble in races previously. So it's only you're never safe in the 1UP Superstar Series. You're always in danger of accidents happening around you, as we saw at Las Vegas, as we saw many times last season, especially at places like Brazil, where we had that crash near the end of that race. But Jeffrey Finn Guy's doing a good Jeffrey Finn Guy's doing a good job holding everybody off. He's got a lead of about a second and a half now over the rest of the field. Yes, it's over a second and a half now. You can't even see the others in the shot anymore. Jeffrey Finn Guy's got that big of a lead, but we're closing in on 10 to go, and this is the longest green flag run we've had of the race, so it's interesting to see which cars excel on the long runs, and one of them looks like it's going to be Christian Vargas, because he's passed Lane Sanders, Ben McDonnell, and Bobo Jones to get up to the 4th position, and now he's on the back bumper of Kyle Vaughters for 3rd.
I mean, this will be huge if he can pass Borders and then try and challenge Mashburn. But the problem is, there's one thing he doesn't have right now, and that's the laps. Laps are slowly counting down. He's got to make his move sooner or later.
He's running out of time, too. He's got 2 seconds to make up and only 10 laps to get there. And he's got to get past Vaughters and Mashburn in order to make that happen. It's a tall order, but Vargas has shown he's one of the greats, and he can maneuver his car into great places, and it's only a matter of time before we find out who wins this thing. Because Jeffrey Finn Guy's got almost a 2-second lead. I would not put it past him. But if we see another yellow flag, that'll bunch the field up again, and we could get another restart, and that would change everything.
Yeah, exactly. But right now...
And sure enough, there we go. We've got another one. And it's Ben McDonnell in the 12. He was running in Bobo Jones involved as well. They were running 8th and 9th in this race, and their races are done now. On lap 49, they were so close to making it to the end, but heartbreak again for Ben McDonnell and for Bobo Jones. Their races are done, and they will have to wait till Hillside to mount another charge.
It's very unfortunate what happened there, but for Finn Guy, he could see this as the miracle that he's been waiting for. This could give him the clean victory now.
Actually, this is the opposite of what he could want, because now he's going to be caught right back up with Mashburn and the hard-charging Vargas as well. So this is where McDonald and Jones will run. This is the battle for about 7th place. And you see Jones actually gets by McDonald, but are they going to get hooked together again? Yep, it happens every time, and that's just not right. This series deserves better than this, but the drivers themselves voted this track to be the All-Star venue. I imagine they'll be having second thoughts after watching these accidents, one after the other. Here we are high above to watch what happened to Bobo Jones and Ben McDonald. You can see McDonald just sends it in a little too deep, and he just clips the 86, and from there on, it's just Calamity Corner once again. The drivers, I assume, chose this track for its heritage, for its vintage history, and for all that, but what I think they failed to realize was this track is very close quarters racing, and accidents are very prevalent. Angle we can give you from our long shot, you can see Jones completes the pass on McDonald, and I think the 12 sends it in just a little too hard, and they make contact. The rest is history, with McDonald and Jones falling out of this race with just a handful of laps to go. This will set up a 5-lap shootout, I believe, to settle the end of this race.
You know how much I love a 5-lap shootout. This is for an all-star race to end this way. It's going to be fantastic. Can Finn Guy hold on, or are we going to see someone challenge him and actually take the lead on the final lap? We'll see.
Pace car's lights are out. We will be going green next time by with about 5 laps to go. So this is going to be a very interesting finish to the inaugural one-up all-star race, and it's just, you can't really put your money anywhere else but on Finn Guy. But with that being said, though, Miles Mashburn has been keeping him in check so far with... Well, Finn Guy's just had a really strong race. There's no doubt about it. He proved that on lap 1, and he's proved it ever since. He's led all 51 laps so far. But with the unpredictable nature of this place, anything can still happen. Mashburn, Vaughters, Vargas, they can all mount a charge as the pace car pulls on the pit road. This is going to be a 5-lap dash to the finish. The next flag will end the race.
Exactly. Finn Guy's hopes right now is to have lead pole position and pray there's on a caution. Everyone else is praying there's no caution and just trying to take over Finn Guy.
Green flag back in the air. We're underway for the final time at Nazareth, because the next flag will end the race, whether it be caution or checkered. And Finn Guy is starting to pull a bit of a gap, but Mashburn's still on him a little bit. They're single filing their way down the back straightaway here. And with some side-by-side action deeper in the field, but for the most part, it's still single file throughout, and Finn Guy starting to pull his traditional gap as we take 4 laps to go now.
Yeah, Mashburn is going to need some help if he's going to challenge Finn Guy, but he's got no one to really help him. The other brand's not going to really help him because everyone wants to win.
This is the All-Star race. Everybody wants to be first to the line and claim the bragging rights that come with it. But for Jeffrey Finn Guy, this is going to be an extra special one. It'll be his 3rd win of the year, counting his points-paying victories. And that will just cement him as one of the greats. We heaped praise on Stephen Hunter and all he's done for the series, winning the inaugural championship, winning so many races in a row. But Jeffrey Finn Guy is proving today that he's right on that level. And with a victory in the All-Star race, it's just going to put him up there among the greats of the sport with 2 laps of racing to go now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't wait to see the playoffs. I'm hoping Finn Guy and Hunter fight it out for it. But right now, Finn Guy, 2 laps to go. It should be smooth sailing towards that checkered flag sooner or later.
Down the back straightaway they go, and Finn Guy starting to stretch his gap once again. He's had the run of the race so far, and as he comes to take the white flag this time, Jeffrey Finn Guy sees the white flag. We have 1 lap remaining in the one-up all-star race, And Jeffrey Finguys just put on a clinic in this race. As Kyle Vaughters makes a move past Miles Mashburn, this is for second. It might be too little too late for the victory, but Christian Vargas is also making a move on Mashburn. This is for third, and the podium that seemed a certainty for Miles Mashburn is now sent drifting away to a fourth place finish as they come off a turn 4 for the final time. Jeffrey Finguy, after a dominating performance, takes the checkered flag in the one-up all-star race. What a drive from Jeffrey Finguy. He led every lap he could. He led all 57 laps, and by a second's margin, he is your race winner. With Kyle Vaughters, the rookie, in second, Christian Vargas third, Miles Mashburn fourth. Justin Hutchinson made a late charge, finished fifth ahead of Stephen Gale. Lane Sanders drifted back to seventh at the end, a good run for him regardless. J.D. Martin had a strong ending stretch. He finished 8th ahead of Nick Ortiz. And Nikki Martinez, in her return to the 1UP Superstar Series just for this weekend, she finishes in the top 10 as well, rounding out the top 10 in that Old Spice Toyota. This has been a very interesting All-Star race. It was very chaotic. We had, I believe, 6 caution flags throughout its length, but it just goes to show the best drivers really put on a show here. And Jeffrey Finguy proved he was the best of the best here this evening.
Yeah, exactly. The way he did that first corner, free ride, he took that risk and he played it well. And he bloody deserves that victory here today.
So, with All-Star Weekend now behind them, the series heads back to points racing next week in Massachusetts for the race at Hillside Speedway. That ought to be a very fun race. That high-banked mile oval has seen some very chaotic racing in the past. Lots of passing, lots of high-speed contact. And we hope to see that when we show up for both the 1UP Superstar and Nitro National Series. We hope you'll join us for that as well. So from Ryan Caggiano and from myself as well, we say goodbye from Nazareth Speedway after a very nice All-Star weekend that saw Jeffrey Finguy cement his name as one of the greats in the sport. He is your winner of the inaugural 1UP All-Star race at Nazareth.